Did you know that a medieval duchess once used her wealth to free the most desperate, and became a mighty patron for those in debt? Her name is Saint Hedwig of Silesia, Duchess, Mother, and Saint of the poor, debt-ridden, and orphaned. Famous for her compassion, she helped free people imprisoned simply for owing money. Her witness became a beacon of justice in the 13th century, and her life still brings hope to anyone facing financial distress. Hedwig was born on October 16, 1174 in Andechs, Bavaria, into a powerful noble family. Her father, Berthold IV, was Margrave of Istria and Croatia, a military governor of border territories within the Holy Roman Empire. At age 12, Hedwig married Henry I the Bearded, Duke of Silesia, and together they had 7 children, though only a few survived. From a young age, Hedwig was known for her prayer life, simplicity, and love for the poor. Though she lived in castles, her heart already belonged to the needy. As Duchess, she lived in radical humility, wearing simple clothing, fasting, and caring for the sick herself. She founded hospitals, leper shelters, orphanages, and hostels for the most vulnerable. Her castle became a place of shelter and food for the hungry. Hedwig also paid the debts of prisoners, literally buying their freedom, one of her most powerful acts of mercy. She gave generously and preached the gospel through deeds more than words. Hedwig was not shy about her faith. She read scripture aloud during meals and encouraged devotion among her servants. With her husband, she founded the Cistercian monastery of Trebnitz in 1202, a key place in her spiritual journey. Throughout her life, many miracles were attributed to her. She healed a blind nun by making the sign of the cross, and foretold the death of her son Henry II before it happened. Her reputation for holiness spread quickly. For many, she was a living icon of Christian love. In 1209, Hedwig and Henry chose to live in marital continence, as brother and sister, devoting themselves entirely to God and charity. After Henry's death in 1238, she moved into the Cistercian monastery of Trebnitz, which they had founded together. The Cistercians were a reform branch of the Benedictines, focused on silence, prayer, manual work, and austerity. Hedwig joined as a lay sister, without formal vows, so she could continue using her wealth for the poor. From there, she kept visiting hospitals, prisons, and homes, comforting the suffering and freeing those imprisoned by debt. In the monastery, Hedwig embraced a life of poverty, penance, and joy. She walked barefoot even in winter, holding her shoes in her hands, a sign of humility. She once healed a blind nun, and never took credit for the miracle. She continued comforting orphans and widows, often at personal risk. She died on October 15, 1243, just before her 69th birthday, leaving behind a legacy of love. Hedwig was canonized only 24 years after her death, in 1267, by Pope Clement IV. She is now patron saint of the poor, the indebted, prisoners, widows, orphans, and those seeking housing or work. Her feast is celebrated on October 16, especially in Poland and Germany. In Berlin, the famous St. Hedwig's Cathedral was built in her honor, a symbol of charity and reconciliation. To this day, people pray to her for financial help, housing, and urgent needs. Saint Hedwig wasn't just nobility and power. She was a woman who chose to live the gospel in its most radical form. She gave up privilege, walked barefoot, comforted the broken, and freed the enslaved. She reminds us that true wealth lies not in having, but in giving. And even if the world forgets silent holiness, heaven remembers. So if you're struggling today, call on Saint Hedwig. She has walked this path before.